having all my teeth extracted without anaesthetic has convinced me never to go to the dentist again. Welcome to Friday Fallacy. This week we're looking at misleading vividness, or the anecdotal fallacy. Misleading vividness is when the compelling details of an event are used to argue that such events are common. That is, rather than establishing that such occurrences are actually frequent, the emotional impact of such events is used as proof of their likelihood. This is not a sound way of arguing, as simply because an event is vivid doesn't mean it is representative, likely, or relevant. That 9/11 was such a traumatic event in no way means that terrorism is common in the US. That shark attacks are shocking in no way means that they are likely to occur. Some examples of misleading vividness. With the recent aircraft disasters, you won't catch me flying, I'm driving instead. Last time I ate Chinese food, I was vomiting all night. That stuff's really bad for you. If you knew the details of how an abortion happens, you'd be pro-life too. Think about roasting in the eternal fires of hell. Better be a Christian. Just imagine how it'll feel to be rich. Join Amway now. Not all graphic descriptions of detail are the misleading vividness fallacy. If the goal is simply to understand the true nature of an event, or the full impact that it has on someone, then it is necessary to have all the details. If the details of the event are actually relevant to the discussion, then it is not fallacious to discuss them. But often, both sides agree on how terrible an occasion is, and disagree only on how common or likely such an event is. In that case, the precise details of someone's experience is irrelevant. A common use of misleading vividness is the presentation of a single example in lurid detail as if it is representative of a range of experiences, without actually establishing this. So, journalists will interview one person affected by a disaster as a stand-in for all disaster victims, and charities will use a single disadvantaged person as iconic of all the people they help. If done ethically, the people selected will be broadly representative, but without further information, it is hard to know whether they are or not. Furthermore, a single example doesn't establish how common a situation is. For example, advertisements for exercise machines or diets rarely provide information on how likely a customer is to actually lose weight or get fit. In fact, they often have fine print explaining that the people featured in the advertisements are not actually representative. Misleading vividness is most often used with rare, frightening events like terrorist attacks, natural disasters, and violent crime. And while the victim's experience of such events is important, when devising policy, it is at least as important to have accurate information on how commonly these events occur and how effectively we can prevent them. That said, there is a sense in which it can be rational to overreact to such events. Because the public tend to respond irrationally to these occurrences, politicians could argue that it is politically expedient to overinvest in addressing them. Of course, that is only as rational as accepting other people's irrationality. In conclusion, misleading vividness is when the compelling details of an event are used to argue that such events are common. Until next time, keep your fallacies to yourself.